Yo, what's going on, folks? It's your boy Juice Manji, Julian Rodriguez, Big Lechuga, Big Husband, man. You're not watching The Pulse. Alright, so let's get off into the sneaker topic. I'm sure you guys have all heard by now. If you haven't, go look it up. Big scandal on the Nike campus. Basically a theft operation where the dudes were stealing look-see samples and PEs and such. Look-see, PE samples, whatever. Basically, the guy who started the company Look-See, which, if you guys aren't familiar, Look-See is a sunglasses company. Started like a couple years back. Basically, all they did was put fucking like iconic Nike prints or themes on sunglasses. So like Galaxy, elephant print, safari print. It's kind of a shitty idea in my opinion, but guy's name's Kyle Yamaguchi. He worked for Nike and left his job in the spring of 2012. Basically, what he had been doing was jacking Look-See samples from Nike's campus and selling them to basically this guy Artifacts on Instagram. You know, many of you probably follow him, and he posted all kinds of PEs and samples and crazy shit that he had in his collection, and apparently he was selling to Sneaker Yeti, which basically that chain of possession was like the main source of PEs on the market. So you have Artifacts, who's getting the shoes initially from Kyle Yamaguchi. They're basically the promo managers at Nike, and meaning, you know, they had authority to order samples, you know, and so basically the dealings were going on between Artifacts and Yamaguchi at first, and he was getting all this allegedly, everything in this topic allegedly, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars exchanging hands. And then when Yamaguchi left in 2012, a guy named Tung Ho basically took his spot. I believe the money transaction still went through Yamaguchi, but he was getting, Tung Ho was getting a cut now, or getting probably a bigger cut because he was the one actually stealing the shoes. But basically these guys would order these samples and then take the shoe and steal it. Guy would have a duffel bag, get the shoes, take them, and then leave and take them to a storage unit. Fucking Nike or the FBI, government, you know, cops, whatever, they seized 1,900 plus pairs of shoes from Tung Ho's crib after the whole shit went down, which is fucking crazy. Nike's not gonna lose track of 1,900 shoes, dog. Like, do you realize? And first of all, he just admitted it. Apparently Yamaguchi and Tung Ho have not been arrested. The only guy that's been arrested has been Artifacts, Mr. Keating. He's been arrested for receiving stolen property, yada yada, selling it. So I'm guessing the other two guys just snitched. Because really, dog, you're not taking... I just don't understand how these guys didn't think they were going to get caught. The most interesting thing to me about this is how it's going to affect the PE market. You know, given that this... Now, from what we understand, PEs are, you know, most PEs on the market were illegally sold. Basically, they're selling stolen property. You've seen other guys with big PE collections on Instagram delete some pictures. Some guys have gone private. Some guys have still been posting. Whatever. I'm not really up on that. It's not really something that's been appealing to me, just because it's kind of stupid. I feel like it's, you know, those are just shoes too. Now obviously they're very rare and some of them are fucking awesome. You know, and you wonder why they didn't release. But on the other hand, it's like, really, dog, you're paying stacks for one shoe. But in any case, the thing that's interesting to me about this is that now I can understand the market a little bit better, because basically it's just like drugs. When you pay, you know, if you buy drugs, or when someone buys drugs, they're paying for basically the multiple markups that have happened because of how many times the drug has exchanged hands, from the person who produced it to the wholesaler to the street level dealer or whatever. You know, each time that drug changes hands, the price goes up, because the buyer eventually is the person who's going to be paying for the risk, the liability assumed by those carrying and possessing the drug to get it to the buyer. It's kind of the same thing. You had two people who were basically taking a cut, you know, because their jobs and their names were at stake, and then they sell it to this dude who then sells it to someone else. And you know, he's the kind of the middleman between, let's say, a Sneaker Yeti or some other PE vendor and the two dudes who are actually at Nike stealing the shoes. So, you know, the fact that that they kind of controlled the market when looking back on it, so they could demand a higher price, and they kind of flooded the market, because I feel like there's a lot more PEs out there. You see just regular dudes with PEs, and I think that's what kind of got them fucked up, is because you can't be selling, you know, I feel like in the past people were a little bit more quiet about PEs, you know, because obviously if there's only X amount of pairs, if you have a pair and you're posting it on the internet, it's clear who you got it from. Now I feel like there's so many different pairs. You know, I see regular kids on Facebook, just some dumb high school kids who spent entirely too much money with LeBron Palmers and shit like that. So you know, it kind of got crazy, and obviously too many people got the shoes more for just like stunning online than anything else, and obviously that's going to get people caught. But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting thing. Wanted to talk about that a little bit, see how this ends up, see is the PE game, is the whole PE market done. It'll be interesting. But go check out Just for Kicks 212's video on this. He did a really good, got more into it than I did. You know, but this is one of 3 segments, so yeah, go check out Just for Kicks 212's video. Let me know what you guys think about the whole shit. Alright, sports. Sports, man. Let's talk a little NBA playoffs. Fucking Atlanta, you know, I thought they would get swept, and they took a game from the Pacers, but then the Pacers blew their ass out, pause, last night. So we'll see what happens with that whole series. I think the Pacers will go on to, you know, maybe Atlanta steals another game, but I think, you know, Pacers snapped out of it a little bit. Roy Hibbert has still just been awful lately, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Roy Hibbert of last year's playoffs at all this year. Clippers kind of did the same thing, spanked the Dubs after the Warriors pulled that upset in Game 1, and I still see that being at best the Warriors take another game. I just think not having any size in the middle is hurting them without Bogut. Let's see, what else? Bulls, out of here, dog. Down 0-2. You know, that's gonna at best 5 games, but I don't think they're coming back. I don't think they're coming back to Chicago. I think the Wizards will close that shit out. The Bulls just don't have the weapons, man. I mean, they have a lot of heart, and you got to respect that, but they just don't have the talent on the court right now. Like, their only exception, like Taj Gibson and then obviously Noah, who to me is a top 20 player in the league, but after that, like, they don't really have a whole lot. You know, Boozer is trash. Heinrich is washed. You know, he shouldn't. When you're depending on all of your production at the point to come from DJ Augustin and Kirk Heinrich, and you already don't have like elite wing talent. It's kind of, you're not gonna win a lot of games against teams with talent like John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Nene. It's just not happening. What else? Spurs got through it. Oklahoma City is tied 1-1. I don't think Westbrook is, I don't blame Westbrook. He was the reason they were in that game, and yes, he made some mistakes down the stretch, but Westbrook, I think, the positives greatly outweigh the negatives with him, so I'm not worried about OKC. I still think that they'll get through this series. But yeah, man, Brooklyn Toronto looks like that's a fun series. I'm happy with that one. You know, these playoff games have been dope. Portland, LaMarcus, dog. Lillard, dog. And Kevin McHale kind of shat that game away, in my opinion. Like, I just don't get why you don't double team LaMarcus Aldridge, why you keep sending Terrence Jones, who's an undersized power forward, one-on-one against LaMarcus Aldridge. You'd think you would start double teaming him, but then he gets to like 28, 30, or, you know, from the jump, he is LaMarcus Aldridge. He's not just any old guy. I didn't understand that fucking Heat aren't gonna really struggle much with the Bobcats, so that's whatever. But that's about it. That's about all I got to talk about with the playoffs. You know, I'm still head explode thinking about why Kevin McHale didn't send double teams to LaMarcus Aldridge. Disrespect, dog. Alright, hip-hop. I'm gonna veer a little bit off the hip-hop road. You know, a little bit off center as it pertains to hip-hop. I'm talking about R&B. if you're from my era, if you're from my age, you remember when R&B was a thing. Now it doesn't really exist. EDM kind of ate R&B. Not really a lot of R&B artists actually making R&B music. But I was thinking today about a song, Too Close by Next. Basically a song about boners. You're making it hard for me. About popping a boner when you're dancing up on a lady too close. And it's one of the most hilarious. I don't know if it was intentional. I think that either they're trolling. I don't think it was intentional. I didn't think they thought that the shit was that funny when they made it. But if you haven't heard it, go listen to Too Close by Next. For you youngsters, but everybody who's my age, y'all remember that song. But one of the things, the thing I'm thinking about is, would Next have made a song about boners, their lead single, if they had known that that's pretty much all anybody would remember Next for? They weren't quite one hit. They had another song, but I can't even remember it. So I guess they are kind of one-hit wonders. And their one hit is about erections. Step back, you're dancing kinda close. Feel a little bump coming through on you. So do you think, what do you guys think? Do you think if you were Next and you're making this song, now maybe we wouldn't remember them at all if the song wasn't about boners. So that's something else to take into account. But if you're you're gonna have one hit that the world is gonna remember you by. Let's say it's 100% chance that the world will remember you for your boner song. But if you make the song not about boners, it's like a 35% chance that you can get that one-hit wonder status. So 35 versus sure thing, 35% being song not about boners, 100% chance you make a song, R&B song about popping boners on the dance floor, people will remember you. Let me know what you guys would do if you were in Next situation. Now girl, I know you felt it. Boy, you know I can't help it. Alright, so that just about does it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. You guys are always the fucking best. You know, hitting me in you guys have been dope about hitting me in the comments, suggesting things I should talk about and all that, and I appreciate it. I cherish the interaction. It's good. It's why I do it. So yeah, hit me up at JuiceManji on Twitter, or hit me up in the comments here. You know, Twitter, you get a quicker response generally. You know, it's more fluid discussion, but you know, I can reply to your shit from the mobile app on YouTube now too. So however you prefer. But at JuiceManji on Twitter, in the comments, hit that like button if you fucks with this. If you're not already subscribed, please do. Tell a friend. You get all that. I greatly appreciate you guys. Catch you on the next vid. Peace.